Do you then believe in a part of the book and disbelieve in the other? What then is the reward of such among you as do this but disgrace in the life of this world, and on the day of resurrection they shall be sent back to the most grievous chastisement. And Allah is not heedless of what you do. 86 These are they who buy the life of this world for the hereafter, so their chastisement shall not be lightened, nor shall they be helped.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Sulaiman Rahim here, Master of the Covenant, breaker of 7 seals. Brothers and sisters, the war is imminent. So I'm going to shorten my presentation today, because it may be starting any minute now. But it will start soon. It's imminent. The war with America, Britain, forces Israel against Iran. It's imminent. It cannot be averted. I've been telling you about this war for 35 years. Mr. Farrakhan told you Armageddon started. Armageddon started. 3 years ago it was? I guess it was. And it's going to spill over Europe, and that was no. See. And Mr. Ishmael said if a prophesied something up come to play, we shouldn't listen to him anymore. But he's still listening to him. Well, I guess you can't help it. I mean, he's got his head stuck with his ass. Shouldn't listen to him anymore. That's what his prophecy. But it didn't happen. Hasn't happened. I said wrong then, back then. I said wrong, you're wrong. It's going to be, the sparks will be in the Middle East. It was spread to Europe. Start in the Middle East. That was before there was any of this going on. Before so-called October the 7th. And now we're here. And now they can't come to agreement. It wasn't, I told you, it's not going to happen. They canceled JCPOA, won't come to agreement. And so war is imminent. And America's praying for war. Iran's praying for war. And according, if you listen to YouTube, everybody's already started because there's explosions going on in Iran right now. So I'm going to talk about what we can expect to happen next few days, brothers and sisters. Because many will be in shock of the hour. Now, Matt Farrakhan, he says the Watchman. The Watchman, 40-some years been watching, he's going to, yet he made that false prophecy about 3 years ago, and didn't happen. And then he said, well, God told him to be quiet. And you haven't heard from him yet since. Well, that's all bullshit. See, God ain't told me a damn thing. And he's got other reasons why to be quiet, because he's incapacitated. Because if that wasn't the case, on so-called Savior's Day, he would have left a voice message or something. He was incapacitated. He's not dead, but he's on the way, right? He's going to be the watchman. Now, what kind of watchman? You've been paying him. He's a multi-millionaire, paying him for 40-some years, right? And he's going to get you across the river, for all these things, right? Get you 6 states, all these things. He's going to get. He haven't got a goddamn thing, right? Nothing, zero. And now he's incapacitated, and they're doing a vigil on it right now, death watch. He hasn't produced a thing, produced nothing. The so-called his Nation of Islam, and his death will be totally disbanded because it has no money, none. Farrakhan didn't do what Elijah Muhammad did. Elijah Muhammad had all the money. Elijah Muhammad didn't leave here rich. All the money was in the name of the Nation of Islam, the people that worked for it. People that worked for it. It was their name. And these monsters went to court and claimed that money belonged to their father, who they hated, and got hold of that money. Farrakhan was right with him. Farrakhan said Elijah Muhammad left me in charge. And if he left me in charge, how can he take care of the nation? How can he make sure the believers got that money? He said the believers went crazy, some went sick, some in the hospital, some of them went back to, they dealt with drug pushers, all kinds of stuff, right? because of what Wallace was doing, and you the one put Wallace in charge. You said Elijah Muhammad left it in your hands. So why did you give it? Or you didn't feel qualified now. So you gave it to a known hypocrite. And he's lying when he say he saw Wallace stand with Father. He's lying because what he won't tell you is that Wallace was not standing with Father. He was permanently banned from the NOI, even from his own family. His father, Elijah Muhammad wouldn't let him see his own family. He was permanently banned. So how did he take control? He was banned because he's totally hypocrite. He was totally against his father. So Farrakhan said, well, they didn't know. No, they knew exactly what he would do. So why did you give him a charge, Farrakhan? You had the reins. Why didn't you keep it? And then you would help them get all that money. And when the believers were lost, had nothing, left the believers with nothing, absolutely nothing, then you took off. Remember back to Nebraska, Arizona? To get back on stage and shake your ass for Calypso. That's exactly what happened to me online, Farrakhan. And believers was nothing. I was one of them. I was there. I was a foreman at Mama Speak newspaper. Midnight foreman. I lived at a Nation complex. Had a real nice apartment in a Nation complex there. Nation owned a complex. Had a real nice apartment, beautiful, right? Shopped at your supermarket, right? Our clothing store. My car was financed through the Nation's Bank. I mean, I had it all going on. One day I was there, the next day it was gone because y'all got rid of all that. Left me with nothing, zero. And now you're talking, okay, and then you come back. Why you come back, Farrakhan? Because you came back to rob the nation. That's what you've been doing. They're stupid over there. I can go and make a living off of them. And that's what you did, because you definitely not representing Elijah Muhammad's teachings. And we can prove that. Over and over again, I said, I give anyone $1,000 and prove I'm lying. Anyone $1,000 cash money, prove I'm lying. Prove that he's teaching Elijah Muhammad's teachings faithfully and also that's from his lessons. See, they call me names and everything else. They don't call me liars and they don't challenge me. They just call me names. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. War is imminent. So I'm going to talk mostly about that. But let's talk about a couple of things first. Derivative reality. They understand our reality, brothers and sisters. See, a derivative is, it comes from the word derived, right? So something that's derived from the original. Something that's derived from the original, right? So a derivative of a cube would be a square. It's derived from the original. The square has 6 sides to it. A cube has 6 sides to it. Derivative is a square. Your floor is the derivative of your room. The space in your room is a cube. But the floor and the walls, they're derivatives of that. What a derivative is. And so 3-dimension down to 2-dimension. And we live in a derivative reality because we no longer have enough energy to maintain a 3-dimensional reality. The universe is still 3-dimensional. We just didn't have the mental capability to maintain a mental connection with it. So that's where religions came in. Religions are attempting to try to understand this 3-dimensional world from a 2-dimensional plane. That's what religions are. Trying to understand a 3-dimensional world from a 2-dimensional plane. You can't do it. That's why all these religions are all wrong. All of them. Every one of them. Even Sunniism. Sunniism is derivative also. It's derivative of Islam. Has the structure of Islam without the substance. The structure. It's got the Quran, Mecca, the language, the land, Arabic, all of it. It just doesn't have the substance. Because Islam is mathematics and mathematics Islam, and you will not get any mathematical conversation out of the Sunnis. Yet they claim to have the religion. And Islam is mathematics, mathematics Islam, but they will not talk mathematics with you because they can't. Or you just got to believe it. You got to believe what it says, and everything you say falls, claps on a small argument. Nothing happens without the will of Allah. That's what it says. Nothing happens without the will of Allah. Nothing, zero, nothing happens without the will of Allah, right? Then if all this evil must be Allah's will. You said nothing happens without His will. Well, Satan, who made Satan? If God made Satan, Satan was the will of God. And if God knew what Satan was going to do, I mean, then whatever Satan does, he's doing following Allah's will. He said he can't do anything without that's not the will of Allah. So all this wickedness and everything else is the will of Allah. You can't blame it on Satan. Satan didn't break himself. See, you can't talk that. That's a clear argument. You can't talk like that. They want to cut your head off. It happens out of the will of Allah. So therefore, if you catch in hell from these devils, when they send a cruise missile up your ass, you should say, "Oh, praise be to Allah, because that's Allah's will. They blow your ass up with a cruise missile." See, all that falls apart when you put pressure on, but they won't let you put any pressure on it. They're going to cut your head off. None of that stuff makes any sense. There's no mathematics in their conversation whatsoever. None, zero. In fact, they are the gym. I'm not going to move into that process right now. I'm going to get to my main subject. See, they had a form of godliness, but they had a structure of it. Had a form of Islam without the substance. There's no mathematics to Sunniism. None of it. None of any mathematics involved in it. They can't show you any. The mathematics, they can't tell you. Well, we say 5 prayers. And I can give you the mathematics behind everything I'm saying, and plus the mathematics of Islam, and the mathematics of the Bible, and the mathematics of the universe. That's what you're getting here. You're getting nothing but mathematics here. But you can't keep up with it. So I have to kind of like get a low level stuff, add subtraction, maybe some multiplication division. Right? But I hop over to calculus where I've been this week, talking about derivatives. Right? And I'm not sure you understand that. So I kind of let it slip. So I said, okay, let me talk about that, because that's what it is. We live in a derivative reality. And that's why our original reality is unfamiliar to us. We don't know about it, because we live in a two-dimensional reality. We don't know about it. But see, like, say you're an embryo, right? And all of a sudden you start growing fingers. So as you get more energy, you start a little circle, right? You become more complex and everything else. Whereas you start energized like a balloon, so you start filling out. You ever seen a balloon like it's flat on the ground? Then you start putting air in, all of a sudden it's take form. Maybe a person, a doll, a finger. That's what happened. So it was your three-dimensional qualities start coming out because you have enough energy. Your three-dimensional qualities were suppressed until it got down to two-dimensional. They're virtually non-existent. They existed, but it's like having eyes. Excuse me. But for some, excuse me, my sisters. There must be some kind of I've been sneezing. We got some kind of allergy or something going on. Hold on. I mean, the female is a good example, right? When she's, 11 years old, 9 years old, whatever, right? From outward appearance, except for if you don't let her hair grow, you can't tell from a boy. Flat chest and everything else. As she grow, get more energy, all of a sudden, chest fills out, okay, she got breasts and other things, but you didn't see them before. They was there, you just didn't see them. You can't have enough energy to produce those things yet. And so now, the original man is becoming started energized. Now you start to see three-dimensional aspects of it, which the devils don't have. They cannot move to the third-dimensional world. They can be bored into it, but they still be flat. They won't understand. They won't see it. And that's what it's about, brother and sister. So Sunnis, they had the structure, but they don't have the substance. Okay? Because that's derivative of Islam. So now it says Suleiman be the first of the dead ones. So in other words, because he was managing energy in such a way, he started growing. His three-dimensional aspects started growing. Three-dimensional brain. So then he was able to see the angel, because the angel is three-dimensional, and no one in the second dimension could see it. At the head, they couldn't see it. They couldn't figure it out. He says no one in the heavens or earth anywhere could touch it for 2,000 years. And all of a sudden he started growing three-dimensional because he's focusing on energy. What they have you taking your energy, they distract you. Invest your energy in 2 dimension. Yes, that's what. See, all this is illusion. Money, drink, all that to keep you investing your energy into this 2-dimensional world. So I wanna. That's say those love this world's life. There's no portion hereafter. That's why he said that. Because you invest your energy, whatever you are, that's how you invest your energy. So if you invest your energy in this 2-dimensional world, American dream was a lie. I want a car. I want a house. I want this stuff. So that's how you put your energy. So therefore you get those things. So he said, those who love this world life, I give it to them. No portion here, that's what he's saying. Because you go for the 2-dimensional world, all your energy's there. You can't rise to the 3rd-dimensional world. That's what it's telling you. But to get to the 3rd-dimensional world, you got to suffer. That's what it's saying, because you got to suffer the 2-dimensional world. In other words, you go in the 3-dimensional world, all of a sudden, because you're not investing in the 2-dimensional world, all of a sudden you don't have anything. So if you look at you, man, you got nothing, man. Look, you ain't got no money, you got no car, you got nothing. So from that point of view, you have nothing. And from your initial point of view, you have nothing too. I lost this, I lost that, man, all this stuff I'm losing. Your initial. But then once you start seeing 3-dimensional, you don't worry about it no more. Because now you see, you gain it. They don't see it. All they see is you don't have nothing. Your initial response is, oh man, things going bad for me. Because now I'm lost, I'm losing everything in my 2-dimensional world. See? And then you realize, hey, you start seeing 3-dimensional world, how beautiful it is, and I'm getting this, now I'm getting this. See? I'm getting this now. So you start letting that 2-dimensional world go. Everybody's looking. They see you just disappearing. From that point of view, you ain't got nothing, man. Look at it, you going broke. No car, you ain't got anything, man. That's not saying you can't have that situation too. So you got homeless people, they're 3-dimensional, right? Because they spend their money in illusional things. They spend energy in NFLs and all that kind of stuff. So they got the memories. That's where their money's in, their memories. Oh man, I remember LeBron said this, did that, whatever. I'm saying that's the way it works. And the Quran said when you lose, you be tried with loss of all types of things. But it said because you be tried with loss. Oh man, I'm losing. But it tells you, add it up. Those who love this world's life, there's no portion hereafter. Right? But you say, when you're losing stuff, it says, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Right? Because you be tried. All these things. What you being tried? That means you're losing everything you got. But that's your trial. You're losing everything you got. Right? To all your 2-dimensional stuff that you thought was important. But now you're getting 3-dimensional stuff. And you say, once you realize it, you don't give a damn about that 2-dimensional stuff anymore. But first a trial. Oh man, look all bad things happening to me. This happened to me. This happened to me. Oh man, I lost my 2-dimensional husband. I lost my 2-dimensional wife. I lost my 2-dimensional children. You see? I lost my 2-dimensional house. And then all of a sudden you start seeing 3rd dimension. Oh, they say how beautiful it is. And you don't give a damn about that 2-dimensional anymore. But those that love that, they keep on going and get it. And there's no point for them in hereafter. That's what it's saying. But let's move on, brothers and sisters. You're going to lose all. See, that's what I'm trying to. I've been said. Like I said, when you get this message right, it's mathematics. Then you can show it mathematics in all kinds of form. You can show it. You can show it in addition, subtraction. You can show it multiplication, division. You can show it in trigonometry. You can show it in calculus. It's just how complex you want it. How complex you want to explain it. So I just showed you everything I've been saying for years. I showed it in calculus form. Because all your loss is two-dimensional. Everything you're losing, anything that you got two-dimensional, you're going to lose if you're going three-dimensional. But you don't realize it's two-dimensional. It couldn't make it to three-dimension. And so, your mama made two-dimensional. If your father's two-dimensional, then you ain't going to eat. That's what happened to you. But you better have a two-dimensional mama. And so now, I lost mom. I lost mom. Right? Because you're moving three-dimensional way, you're going to lose her. So you cry and everything else because you got two-dimensional. Someone's got two-dimensional children. Two-dimensional spouse. They can't make the three-dimension. And you got to give it up to go to three-dimension. So you can stay down there with them, and then you go with them. See how simple that is? It's hard. But that mathematics is hard, but it's beautiful. And once you get there, all that emotion stuff is suppressed. That's how you overcome emotions. Go to three-dimensional, go to mathematical mind, and all that's under control. And then you understand it. So you understand it like that. And then you say, well, I want to stay here with mom. I want to stay there with mom then. I mean, it tells you, you see Job, what happened to Job? It said the four winds blew. So all his children, it was two-dimensional. They always lost. All of them, except for one. So he said, well, if you're three-dimensional, you can't have two. Why can't you have two-dimensional children? You're still producing two-dimensional things if you're there. If you're in two-dimensional and your nature is three-dimensional, you can still produce both, three-dimensional and two-dimensional. You can produce both. You see that quite a bit in the scriptures, right? We see Noah's son, he was two-dimensional, right? He wanted to stay in two-dimensional. So he's lost. So you can be choosing just like you can choose just not so much like it. They got, right? They have your structure. They still have my structure. They don't have the substance. They're two-dimensional. And they'll thrive in two-dimensional, but they won't be able to make it three-dimensional. So you have to decide what, and we look at it like that, maybe you understand it. Who are brothers and sisters? And so right now, see here, so it's two-dimensional. That's two-dimensional Islam. See, it's three-dimensional Islam right here. It's coming in. It says Suleiman's bringing in three-dimensional Islam. That's the last book of life. And only ones, right, that can see the three-dimension, those are the ones going to be able to follow them. See, they're going to haul them there down here, but after a while, he ain't going to notice they exist. Because they can only deal here in the second dimension. So they can holler everything else. They would not understand this at all, because it's three-dimensional. They won't understand it. Only ones that are going to accept is those that can understand it. Like it says those who won't forgive those who can't give their mother, their father, all that kind of stuff can't follow him. That's what he's saying, because you stuck down here with two-dimensional stuff. You stuck down here with two-dimensional stuff, and that's what happened to Lot's wife. You stuck down here with two-dimensional. Remember, that's what they're telling you. These are two-dimensional people. They stuck down here, and they couldn't make it to three-dimension. They couldn't make it. They didn't know anything about it. They don't know what you're talking about anything else. All of a sudden you move away from them. They don't see you around anymore, and in fact, they may think you dead. You understand? Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. He said Suleiman will be the first we got in the dead. This, the angel. Angel is the guide and the means to move the third dimension. We have to have a three-dimensional direction, right? And the angel is three-dimensional. a three-dimensional direction. It tells you about it in there, right? But you have to go in and find it because the book is two-dimensional. But it's got three-dimensional. You get guidance how to move to the third dimension. You follow the guidance in there. And it's like a gym. It's how, so you start doing it, and all of a sudden you start seeing third dimension. And those others, they can't see it. The sealed Bible is a derivative of the Bible. So that's the book that was given for guidance. And that's the guidance, the scripture, that was perfect scripture for two-dimensional. Make Israel shed blood, all that kind of stuff. That's what happens on the second dimension. That was perfect guidance for that. But now we got energy. We got enough energy to start growing in third dimension. Right? So we get a book. Right? Remember, we three-dimensional, but it was on a two-dimensional plane. The angel, three-dimensional, but it was on a two-dimensional plane. It's got three-dimensional knowledge in it. But it was talking on a two-dimensional plane. You need three-dimensional mind, three-dimensional brain, to pull out that three-dimensional knowledge. Because the ones on two-dimensional, all they're going to see is the two-dimensional knowledge of it. That's all they're going to see. They won't even see the other part. They'll say no one in heaven, earth, under earth. But then it says those with the Lamb, right? They begin to see third dimension, so they follow the Lamb out of here. Some went first, and then some went second. The ones that were slower at it, they had to go to tribulation. Some went right on out. They were three-dimensional. Some of them was still, right? Still had some contact with second dimension, so they had to go to tribulation to finish the complete process. You understand, brothers and sisters? This is three-dimensional. Then we got, of course, the loss of energy. We got what's down two-dimensional, and so we produce. Remember, it was on two-dimensional. Remember, and I said, if we produce them, they were our seed. Those were our seed, but they were two-dimensional. That's what I was saying before. You can produce a two-dimensional child, even though you're three-dimensional. We produce them. Ain't they two-dimensional? They're our seed. They're two-dimensional aspects of our seed. And so when we have children, it's two-dimensional also. Even though you're three-dimensional, why you're in a two-dimensional plane? We cannot produce them until it's in a two-dimensional plane. So it's still in two-dimensional plane, so you can produce children that's two-dimensional that don't have any three-dimensional quality. They look like you and everything else, but they don't have two-dimensional quality. They just can't do it. And then you have some children that do. They still act two-dimensional, but once they have enough energy enough, they'll start growing three-dimensional too, with you. Some of your children will grow three-dimensional with you, and some of them won't. They stuck down as two-dimensional. That's their nature. That's just where it is, like the devils. Where they come from. They came from our seed. All seed come from the man. They came from original seed. Remember, the devils come from original seed. But they're two-dimensional. Did I tell you something? It means you can have children that's two-dimensional. And you can't take them in three-dimension. That's just the way it is. Right? And so, if we move around here, what? And then bam. We start going three-dimensionally, and they're under our feet. They're under our feet. And nothing they can do with us. If we stumble, you walk on the floor, you walk on a two-dimensional floor, you walking on them. And nothing they can do about it. And so this would be a 6,000, be a 6,000 year period, 12,000 year period, 6,000 years from beginning energy deprivation down to the worst, 1860s, and 6,000 more years out. And so since we're still in a derivative reality, it's a 12,000 year period. The first 6,000 years were ruled by the devils, Adam, right? And we said, we can't let them do the next 6,000 years. It's just too much mess. So what we had to do is we had to produce somebody that could handle two and three-dimensional, that could move into a three-dimensional but still have two-dimensional properties. That's why we had to make a made God, a derivative God, who has both qualities, second and three-dimensional qualities, that could function in second dimension. We couldn't function in second dimension because all the energy right? It was taking to survive in second dimension. Okay? But this one, he didn't have, right? He had enough. He required much second dimension interest, so he had enough to work there, and also three dimensions. So, Master Muhammad is a derivative of God. Like Muhammad said, he called it grafted, right? So he says it made God. It says after a period of time, which he never taught energy deprivation. You never heard that before. He says the kingdom would be turned back over to the tribe of Shabazz. That's what he's talking about. That's why he had to have a made God. Original God could not, right? Because he's still, right? It still takes a lot to the energy to go back in third dimension. It's not growing in third dimension, but it takes 6,000 years to totally clear it. Totally clear it. Hold on, sister, if you understand that. Okay, I'm gonna go right into what's happening now, the apocalypse. Now I'm gonna go through history here. Now see here, they talk about the. It says one like a lion, one like a calf, one like an eagle, one like the face of man. Seven spirits. They're talking about the nations. This represents Africa. This represents Asia. This represents the Orient. This represents Europe. And this represents us, original people whose home is we live in Africa, right? But our actual home is Arabia. That's what promised land is. Read the Abrahamic covenant. So that's what we're talking about. And each one has 6 wings, right? I mean, well, we'll see in a minute. But the top of each one, this is the top one represents the Islamic part. The ones that they're 2-dimensional, right? But they have 3-dimensional qualities. They have 3-dimensional qualities. This don't have it. That's not stored together. They have 3-dimensional qualities, but they're like us. We're in 3. See, we're totally right here. We're totally in the second dimension, right? Because it was all gold, but we got corrupted by 400 years of rape and everything else. So these are demons, slave masters, children that's mixed in with us, right? See, but this is gold, and this is the Levites here, the original. But the rest of these, this is the God, Master Muhammad, and the rest of these here are really skin folk, black folks with black original devils with black skin. The bottom line is the top part represents, right? The bottom part actually represents the Catholicism. I'm not going to go there right now. So if you understand that, this is the angel key. This is what the angel key looks like. And remember, this is Asia. So you understand this is Asia. The top part of Asia, it would be the Arabs. So they'd be the golden part of that, right? Because they're the Islamic part, right? And that's the golden calf, Sunnism. See? You can go all day and all night talking to people in the Quran, talking the Bible, they can't tell you what the golden calf is. They got all kinds of ideas and whatever. I just told you exactly what it is. Because the angel explains it all. Yeah, oh, let me show you this. See, they talk about the woman, the dragon, all that stuff. So I'm going to explain what it is briefly. That's talking about the woman, and she had a child, right? It says, see, and these are her feet, and she had a child, pregnant with a child, whatever, right? She has 12 stars upon her head. I'm not going into that kind of detail. But that's what it is. This represents women. This talking about the original nation, right? And then there's the moon under her feet. These would be her feet. This would be the crowns upon her head. This would be her belly, and she has a belly in heaven, if you can follow that or not. That'd be the moon. And here's the dragon. The dragon had 10 horns. See? Here's 5, and that's the. See? That's the dragon here. Okay? Well, I'm gonna leave it like that. Here's the 7 heads of the dragon. 7 heads here. He had 10 horns. That's the dragon. He's got 10 horns, It's got 7 heads, right? See, so if you read the chapter, right, this is what that means. And then this is the tail. The tail, there it is. That's the intro key I just showed you. Put it all together, that's what you get. Okay? Here you go again. Now see, I said the eagle, that represents European countries, and they control the world. Adam and Eve, it says Adam will be get control, right? Submit to Adam, he'd be a new ruler on earth. Well, they try to say that's all humanity. No, it's not all humanity. First of all, the rule universe, that means people had to be here already because I'm going to make a ruler. He said, I'm going to create some people, then make a ruler. So there's people here already here, and you're going to put somebody in the room. I mean, how does it make any sense if that plot means all the world? Okay, there's nobody here, so I'm going to make all the people on the planet, and I'm going to make the ruler. Ruler of what? There's nothing here. So who they ruling? They ruling themselves. So I mean, what sense does that make? I'm going to take and make Adam, which you say is all humanity, right? They're going to rule the angels. You see any angels around? Okay, the angels supposed to submit to us, right? If we all humanity, the angels supposed to submit to us. Hey, angel, would you go fix me? Go and give me one of those. Give me one of those T-bone steaks, man. And make it well done, right? And throw in a couple of mashed. Give me some sweet potatoes. Give me some fries. And how about a Coke? I want some orange. I'm gonna be healthy. So yeah, give me a T-bone with some fries and a Coke, and maybe a slice of bean pie. Hurry up now. Ain't supposed to be a submission to us, right? So if he don't do it, he's in trouble. He's a jinn, ain't he? He's going against Allah's will if he don't do what I just told him to do. See, that shit don't make any sense? So if you say, we're going to rule the angels, you see the angels for humanity rule? Well, that means the angels, means, somebody say, angels means, that's the material in the world, right? That's the atoms and silver and gold melt. Well, how can they talk now? See what they say makes no damn sense. And one reason why they can't make sense of it because these are talking about Sunnis because they have to point themselves. Because if humanity is the people that's really ruling the planet, the Europeans, if they're the ones that's really ruling the planet, that's Adam. And all the rest of us, the angels, because they try to tell the jinn ain't angels either. Well, why you get mad at the jinn for doing something that you ain't tell them to do? If they're not angels, then you didn't. The command went to the angels. So if they're the jinn, if they're not angels, then what the hell are you getting mad at them for? All you girls, I want you all girls to go out to the tennis court, right? And go out there and do your girly thing. And so they give them go. And the boys still sitting there. I'm like, all right, y'all, I'm gonna put y'all in detention. Y'all in a baby. What you didn't tell us to do anything. What you get mad for? You didn't tell us to do anything. You see, so jinn, if jinn ain't angels, then what the hell are you getting mad at them for? They gotta be angels. See, that's perfect logic, but they won't go there because I'll show you why they won't go there. Because if Adam is who's really ruling the planet, Europeans, right? And the rest of the people on the planet are angels, then what's the only group of angels that refuse to submit to him? Because we submit to him 100%. We over here, we've been told submission to him for 40 years. Who is the only group on the planet that totally refuse all their ideas and everything else? Sunni Arabs. We're not going to do no Christianity. We ain't going to do no capitalism. We ain't going to do no democracy. We ain't doing none of that shit. None of it. No technology, nothing. See, the only ones doing it. Everybody else submit to some degree. China, they do economics. Everybody submit to some degree, except them. We submit 100%. We totally under control of Adam. They totally resist. So that's why they can't look at it, obviously, correctly, because they show they're the jinn. And what does that mean? That means they're not even Muslim. Because they refuse to obey Allah. You see? That's clear. Now tell me, argue with me. Argue with me about that. Show me what's wrong about that I just said. They can't. Let's find that. Let's find the nigga, let's kill him. He's speaking against Islam. Well, you said nothing happened without Allah's will. So if I'm doing it, that means Allah want me to speak against it. All this bullshit. It's gone. We gonna move up in 3 dimensions, leave your ass behind. You know what happens in 3 dimension? You ever seen a toilet? You know, that's where shit goes. Back to the 2nd dimension. Man, oof. It's all bullshit. And Farrakhan, he's a chief bullshitter. Well, now I should say bullshit, but that means he made some compliment. No, he's a chief bullshit. So here it is. Now look at this. This is the angel, Tariq angel key again, right? Now it says, oh, here's the nations. Now, how you know this is really Arabia? Where the British, what was that domination? They dominated the Middle East, so-called Middle East. India, India, Arabia, that's where their sphere of influence was. What about Europe? Where they colonized Africa? I mean, I'm making this up? And what about us? We totally control America. I'm making this up? And they said, well, what about them? What about the Orientals, man? Look at them. Russia don't come. Yes, it does. Ideologically, everybody had different type of control of their sphere of influence. And so they control ideology, communism. China, Vietnam, Korea. See what I'm saying? Main players there. And they got that from Russia. Can you make this up? Who's controlling everything? They say, oh, yeah, they control the whole damn thing. All controlled by false Israel. And Iran and Syria never was into that. Dominate other nations. See? And each one of these had 4 wings, 6 wings, so they have 24. That was the 24 elders. Elijah Muhammad had that wrong. He couldn't get it right because he didn't break the seal, so he was just getting like everybody else. And that's the 24 elders. That's the 6. That's where it comes from. And he was on the throne. And they was all running around the throne. They was around the throne. He was on the throne. He said, well, that's God. How could that be God? Because the Lamb took the book from his hand. So if he was God, how could he not understand the book that he wrote himself? How can you understand the book he wrote himself? Not Satan. They had the scriptures. And Suleiman come and got scripture from them. They had 2-dimensional world. They had the scriptures. And he took it and revealed the 3-dimensional aspects of it. And so this is talking about JCOP. We're going to talk about the history going on. See, they're the 2 witnesses. Farrakhan talking about Iran and him and Elijah are 2 witnesses. Bullshit. Not even close. First of all, he have to understand the angel to even know that. Unless anyone has broken the seals or knows someone who has broken the seals, they don't know a goddamn thing about the angel. It says it right there. No one could even look on anything. No one's heaven, earth, on earth. Clearly. So the one that you need to be looking for, seeking, is the one that broke those seals. And no one's broken, not even close. Not even got even one word right yet. Except I'm showing it to you right now. And when you get in there, you see I'm telling who everybody is. I show you the dragon is, who America, Britain is, who they on and on and on. That's my credentials, but you ain't gonna see it if you're 2-dimensional. And if you're corrupt and you love this world life, you still ain't gonna see it. Because all you're looking for is more 2-dimensional stuff. I gotta get me another car, man. I gotta get me a big car, man. I gotta get me a BMW, man. I gotta get me another house, man. I gotta get me a couple of bays, man. Okay? Because you're stuck in the American dream. So you're going for that. So you keep going for it. Because you despise your 3. You actually just suppress your 3. You got a lot of people. They love this so much. They're so attracted that they suppress. Like, transgender. They say, well, I want to be a female. Well, that's what they do. They say, I want to be 2-dimensional. So they suppress any three-dimensional inclinations. Take drugs wherever they can. They suppress any three-dimensional. Oh man, that logic kind of sound, man. I can't deal with that, man. Give me some more crack. They suppress their three-dimensional openly. They suppress it because those who love this world's life, there's no portion hereafter. That's the ones that's total two-dimensional. Also the ones that love it. They rather have it two-dimensional because they don't know anything. They don't know anything about three-dimensional. They don't even want to take a look. They took a look, they probably changed their mind. But remember, they got to take. They got to give up some of this. Remember, you got to give up some of this two-dimensional world. Even take a peek. It takes energy to look three-dimensional. So even take a peek, you got to live. So they ain't giving up nothing. I ain't giving up nothing. So they only take a peek. Oh man, he's saying, man, I don't know if that's true or not, man. I can't deal with that, man. I ain't getting my car. I ain't getting my ladies. I ain't getting my man. I ain't getting my children. I ain't getting a goddamn thing. See, they won't even take a peek. They said, man, that might be, but man, I'm good here. I'm stick with this. So they love this world's life because they got to give up something here. You got to give up. Remember, if you love this world life, you get no point. You got to start giving some of this world life to take a peek. To get enough energy, even take a peek with three-dimensional life. And then you have to decide whether you want to even do it because that's what it's like, man. But if I want more of it, I got to give less of this. You see the problem here? If I want more of that, I got to give less of this. That's math and max. You got a budget. Hey, you can spend the money on this or spend the money on that. So I got to give all this here to get that. I ain't giving that. This is too great, man. I ain't getting my lady. I ain't getting my car. I ain't getting my house. That's your anchors. That's the gravitational vortex. It's just too great. Say, man, I ain't taking no chance. Right? That's when you want to take a peek. Then we do take a peek. Say, well, yeah, man, but they see a little bit. They look around, man. Damn, I have to give all of this, man. I'm gonna have to give all of this. All this two-dimensional stuff I got. Because remember, you have a. Remember, if you do the mathematics, right? Say for instance, 1 inch into 3 dimension, right? Of course, you 5 square miles of 2 dimension. But maybe that's you see what I'm saying. If I'm just throwing some numbers out there, I said, man, I'm gonna get that little bit of this. I gotta get rid of all of that. Because of course, 3-dimensional is very expensive. See? Okay, say for instance, I got me SUV, man. I got me another car, man. I got me a motorcycle, right? And I got me a nice little condo over here, right? But man, I want me a Lamborghini, man. I want that Lamborghini, man. I love it so bad. So to get that Lamborghini, you gotta give up all of that. You got a Lamborghini, man. You gotta get all your map mode. You gotta get all that stuff to get the Lamborghini. They say, oh, well, I don't know if I want to do that, man. But I love good with that Lamborghini. See the problem? So you say, oh man, if I go get with Elijah, okay, that mess with Connie. Damn. That's that. Remember, you got to peek. Oh man. I gotta give all of this to get it. Oh, hell with that, man. I'm gonna stick with this. I'll see what happens with that. Keep on waiting. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Anyway, this is right here. But at night, so if you look at the whole thing right back here, previous, it says they would be for 42 years they'd be a witness against it. They would start out. This started from as far as 1948. So they couldn't be a witness against it until it came to existence. So that'd be 1948. So for 42 years, right? They'd be a witness against this false Israel. They'd be on top. Because remember, they're on top. So the earth is called the four corners of earth. This is called earth here. This is called mid-heaven because they're between the earth and the heavens. Heaven's everything above this. They're between. That's why I call mid-heaven. But it's part of the earth. But the earth is only 4 corners, so that's this part. I'm not double talking here. They're called mid-heaven because they're between heaven and earth. Okay. Because remember they got 3. Well, I was going to go mathematical or something. And then after that 1990, then they got cast down because that's when America, Britain, and France took control of the Middle East. They invaded the Middle East in 1990. So that's the 42 years they're talking about. And so they'd be in that situation for 24 years. So they put 24 on to 1990, you get around 2015, 2014 to 56. That's when Obama was president, right? And so he would take, through JCPOA, which said they've been on the foot of the nations, meaning they're under United Nations control. They've been under United Nations control for about 3.5 years. And the foot of the nation, that's what it means. Right? And then the agreement will be broken, like it says in Daniel, about 3.5 years later, when Obama came on, when Trump came on the scene, and then they broke. So they would start enriching again. They would be in submission to UN anymore, right? They would be submission to. They would still be under still some control by the Europeans because they still had this snapback sanction crap, whatever. So that's what happened right here. So now they start moving up after 3.5. So here, right here. Okay, yeah, they're right here. Okay. They still against America. They still hope sanctioning, right? But okay. So and then this is what are right now. In conflict with America, Britain, and France, Israel. Okay. They're moving up against them. It's right now. And what's going to happen any day now? It maybe happen today, right? This. Actual conflict. Boom. Okay, enlarge it. Okay. Right, this is what we are right now. Conflict between them. It says the fifth seal says they wouldn't move. He would move until Syria was taken out. They're talking about Iran and Syria. The fifth seal is talking Iran and Syria. Right? He said, I won't do it until your fellow brothers was taken down just like you were. And that just happened. Right? So now. Boom. That's that, right? That's how the war going to end. They're going to kick America, Britain. That's called King of the North, King of the South. King of the South represents Gog and Magog. Gog and Magog is American Britain. All you got to do is read chapter 20. That's European history. It's not something in the future. It says to be two world empires. And there's going to be two world empires, Gog and Magog. Who is that? European empires. American Britain, only two world empires. No, there's been other no world powers that you know about. Not Genghis Khan, not Napoleon, not Alexander. None of them was European. None of them were world powers. It was regional. American Britain, both world powers. That's Gog and Magog. And false Israel with them. False Israel controls them. And so Gog and Magog get defeated. That's what's about to happen. Today or any day now. Very soon. It's imminent. It's imminent. Okay? You see Egypt there? I said, I start saying it now, right? Did I spell that right? Maybe not. Anyway, I'm going to leave that alone right now. I don't need to go into that detail. Well, when they go to war, Egypt's going to help them. I put it like that. Okay. It backs up a little bit if you can see it. I should have made slow motion, but Eve was that stone that would hit Goliath in the head. False Israel was Goliath. So it was what it says is when they go up, this slingshot. Let me just show that, bro. I'm going to keep this short, so I'll go ahead and show that. Let's go ahead and show that. So you see it. It's beautiful when you understand it. Okay, let's see if that works. Let's test it real quick. Nope. Not quite. Okay, hold on, bounce this way out here. I did this. This. Okay. And then this. And then this. Then what? Okay, see that works. Okay, that's close enough. That's close enough. See, Master Muhammad is David in the scripture. Remember, David had a son called Solomon. That's where son of man comes from. Solomon, son of man, Saul. In Latin, right? Saul is son, Oman. That's where it comes from. The Master of the Covenant, son of man. Master Muhammad is not son of man. He doesn't have woolly hair and dark skin. So you want to hold on to stuff, hold on to it, brothers. You get the truth here. You want the truth, that's fine. That means you're two-dimensional. Or you're one of those that loves this world's life. Either way, we don't want you. Stay where you are. Okay. Let's go back one more. Okay. Let's try it. See what happens. See here? Now, this the war. Ain't there now. Egypt is this one right here. Now, remember, David has these stones. This is one of the stones here. He hit Goliath in the head and knocked him out. See, false Israel met Goliath. Goliath had 4 fingers. And that's it. It's perfect, but I'm not good at that kind of detail, right? So what happens? Boom. War starts on it. And then the slingshot. Because remember, these also are white, but they're the golden part. Europeans represent white, but they're the golden part. So a slingshot. Here's the stone and the slingshot, this sling, right? So God got that right. Then the stone follows right behind it, right? Boom. I said Egypt is going to betray false Israel. When they go to war, Egypt going to hit them from behind. When they go to war with Iran, Syria's going to turn on them too. They think Syria is down now. It's not. I told you what's happened. Well, that's what it's talking about. Hit him in the head, knock Goliath out, right? Boom. Now they kicked out of the Middle East. Kicked out. They're back in mid-heaven. These are kicked out. False Israel under siege. See, we see false Israel surrounded by armies, right? When you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, remember who controls Jerusalem? That's false Israel. They're telling you where it is. How can you go wrong? They say it's Jerusalem. Who controls Jerusalem? The capital of Jerusalem is false Israel. So you see surrounded by armies, its destruction is nigh, means it's going to be destroyed. Its destruction is nigh. Christians, no man, you're going to save it last minute. No, it says its destruction is near. When you see it surrounded by armies, it's surrounded by armies now. Right, here's this army here, right? Anyway, as I said, flee. We see it happen, flee immediately. Why? Because this is going to happen. Because they're going to attack you. They're going to attack you. Why? Because false Israel was set up to deny your vision. Elijah Muhammad, remember, during the Holocaust, while you're in the fields, you had no vision. All you had was hope. Christianity was given to you as hope. That's what Moses gave it to you because he wanted to put that brass serpent on his stick. And so you look up there and they wouldn't bother you no more. You understand that? That brass serpent, if you understand Daniel, the serpent, that's false Israel. On the cross, that's the cross. So that's the only hope you had. You only had hope. You didn't have any knowledge. You didn't know about what's going on. And then Master Farrakhan came and gave you vision. Hope was all you had during the Holocaust. Just hope. You had no knowledge, no religion, name nothing. Just hope that everything's going to work out for you. That's all you had. So he's holding on to Jesus. Jesus help me. Jesus help me. So you understand this stuff. It wasn't Jesus couldn't help you. It was just hope to keep you alive, to survive that. That's all you had to get you survive during the Holocaust, during so-called slavery. Christianity was all you had. That's all. You see? And then he came and gave you, when Master Farrakhan showed up, you had no hope. You didn't know anything. Most of you didn't know anything about Africa, nothing. You just run around doing whatever they tell you. You had no hope. You wasn't in the field, but you was just running around. You didn't know what the hell to do. That's why you had the blue. We had the blues when you first came out. That's no story. I'm not going there. But he came and gave you a vision. What? What he's supposed to. Abraham. Oh, now you had a vision. See, a vision brings people together because people of like vision, birds of feather flock together. People of like vision come together. That's what vision does. Vision brings people together. People without vision perish. Vision brings people together because you see the same thing, so you go for it. What brings you together? Because you see you're moving towards. So say for instance, somebody tell you, "Oh man, there's a gold mine in Chicago, man, and they give away whatever, right?" And so, and all black folks, it's theirs. So they call reparation now. We're gonna give free good black gold to all black people for slavery. It's all in Chicago. All black folks will be moving towards that goal, ain't they? I'm gonna get it. That's gonna bring them together. Because they're going towards that goal. So all black people, wait, man. See what I'm saying? That causes you, they're from all over the country now, so they converging on Chicago. So that's what a vision does for you. So all of a sudden you get a vision, we got the same vision. Going home to, so all you want to know is how we're going to get there now. That's all you want to know. Farrakhan said, no, man, they ain't give no gold up there. They don't go up and kill your vision, so well, then you don't go anywhere. They might be giving it, but he fooled you, so the ones that didn't listen to him, they wouldn't got to go. But you, oh man, ain't no going, man, they're bullshitting you. That's what Farrakhan, we ain't going nowhere. He killed your vision. He killed your vision. You ain't going nowhere. God's a liar. Elijah Muhammad's a liar. That's what he's saying, because they said, Elijah Muhammad says, mission, we got him on tape. We'd be fools to stay here. Master Farrakhan said, that's why I come and bring you back home. He said, you ain't going nowhere. They be calling God a liar and Elijah Muhammad a liar. And that would keep us divided because we don't have the same vision anymore. We back to Christianity, hope. Because if we have a vision, all you guys hope. I hope things work out all right. Hope his wife will treat me right. Hope this happen. Hope this don't happen. You see, you're back in hope again. Back in religion. Destroys your vision because that vision was uniting people. People was clinging to Elijah. And Farrakhan destroyed it. You understand? So therefore, that's the vision. They put falsehoods up there to destroy that vision. And Farrakhan to nail it down. They put the falsehoods in the coffin, right? Our vision in the coffin, and Farrakhan come and nail the coffin down. Because he supported what I'm saying. You have to put all the bullshit he said. The bottom line is, if he was really Elijah Muhammad and God, he's supposed to be supporting that vision. If he's against that vision, he's against you. And what is he doing it for? For this world's life. How you know? Because he's a multi-millionaire. He don't get that from the third dimension, he got it from the second dimension. So why is he going for money? Elijah Muhammad didn't go for money. He went to build things for you. Prepare you for the third dimension. You understand? That's what's going on, brothers and sisters. Hope I make it clear enough for you. You understand? So now it's great go down. Now they attack you. They know if falsehood goes down, you realize that couldn't have been true. They couldn't have been the true seed. That means you the true seed of Abraham. Because now what was clouding that vision is gone. That's why it says Jesus was put in a cave and they put a stone across the cave so he couldn't get out. That's a stone. And then somebody came and moved the stone out the way, and he came out. He was dead in the stone, and he couldn't get out. That's what it is. So that's about to be moved. That's blocking your vision. Once that's moved, and they see that's going to happen, and they know that's the reason to stop them getting the vision. So they say, hey, they can't get the vision because they will come together. They will come together. That's what it said. Then they feared. What did it say they feared? About what Pharaoh feared. That they would get their mind back, right? They would unite. If war broke out, they would fight against them and lead a country. Is it any clearer than that, brothers and sisters? That's what they feared. So then they attacked all blacks. All blacks. Demons, remember, demons are their children. They blackface devils. Skin folk. They don't attack all, they ain't take no chances. Okay? Their forces are gone. They attack. At the same time, when this happened, this is during the war now. The war's still going on. Right? But this, I jumped the gun here. Well, I may as well go back. So instead of talking about it, just go back and show it. This is why I was going. It was, and this is when as the war going on, that's when Farrakhan, the accused of our brethren, is cast down during the war. One heaven. When that war was going on, that's when they cast him out. Same thing, Exodus. They said it was a sign of war, but not a sign of victory or defeat while the war was going on. And that's when Moses separated the people out of Aaron's camp that was with the message of the covenant. And the ones that was left with Aaron, he killed them and Aaron too. Okay. So this is where right here, see, he comes to NOI while the war's still going on. And that's when he takes control of NOI. He don't take action, they come to him. I'm not going to them, they come to me. Because they're going to cast Farrakhan out, they realize now, right, who the messenger of the covenant, that's the one they were seeking. So you seek something, then when you find it, when you see it, then you go get it. So now it's clear, because what was blocking it was false Israel. That was the biggest block right there. And Farrakhan. So now they just expose. Now NOI comes and they come to say, like the man says it in Mark. When he finally saw Jesus from afar. And he ran to him. That's what's about to happen. Any day now, brothers and sisters. Any day now. This year. Not next year, this year. Any day now. It may be happening right now. See? That's what's going on. See? He's got control of the NOI, protecting them, telling them what they need to do to get home, survive. Just tell them, get them prepared for the attack. Preparing them for the attack that's coming. See? Here it comes. Boom. See? The forces are finally gone. Under siege is taken out. And they're attacking. Right? And then it says flee. When you see that? Okay. And that's where the four winds blow. Okay. I'm not going to explain what that is, but maybe I won't. And that's where what? They're fleeing. Oh, I went the wrong way. Now they're fleeing because they were under attack. Chaff and the wheat together. So they gather them together, and then the wheat, the chaff is kicked out, the demons, they separate out. That's what it says in Mark, right? It says, please don't make me lead a country. That's religion. Louis Eugene grounds NOI backwards. That's Farrakhan. Right? So he said, let me go back to swine daddies. And that's what happened. They get kissed out, there's swine daddies out here. And they get to fight with each other, go off a cliff together. This was going to happen in a few more days. This year, this much will take place this year. But they would go in 5 months, so it'd be next year before they're finally taken out. But the thing is, this is a locust war. And America will be total chaos. Right now you see America falling apart now. They got riots. I told you that Trump gonna call martial law, or she called martial law in California right now. Everything I tell you is coming to pass. See? So it's gonna get worse. America's gonna go totally, right? Because you put some enough water to start boiling, it turns to steam. America will be out of control. Be out of control. They're gonna take Trump down. They're gonna, because you caused this war. You caused all this trouble. They're gonna probably could die for him, or he's gonna go down hard. All these preachers are gonna go down hard. Politicians, these people in the media, oh, they're gonna blame all of them for that. This place is gonna be total chaos and out of control. See, people eating their own children. Everything's be no food, no electricity. Everything's total economic collapse. Read chapter 18. But the demons, right? They're gonna be slightly united because they got some of us in them. They were slightly united. See, and they're gonna. That's why I said they're gonna locusts. They're gonna be kicking ass for 5 months. And in 5 months, they're gonna have control of America. They finally gonna get what they want. That's what they say. Remember, that's what they preach. We're gonna get control of America. Yeah. And after 5 months, they're gonna have control of America. What's left of it? Their control of it is total mess. Right? And Farrakhan, he may be the leader if he's still alive. But they're gonna have total control of America. I know Elijah Muhammad said the last president be a black man. I took to be Obama. But it may, right? So he just said, that's what he said. Anyway, they were in control for a moment. They've been in control when the goat, they're talking about the goat in Daniel. The goat, it says the goat. Who's the goat? That's the 10 horns. It says it right there in chapter 17. These 10, they would hate the harlot. 10 horns is the same goat. So the goat would travel from the west. If he's not touching land, that means it come across the ocean. That means it's got to be a border. Itself has to be bordered on the ocean. Who's bordered on the Pacific Ocean on the east side? China and India. They both have coast along on the Pacific Ocean. That's what it says. And in Daniel called leopard. Leopard's what? Yellow with brown spots. 4 wings and 4 heads. 4 heads are authoritarian, that's China. 4 wings, democratic, that's India. And there's a whole lot of them, that's why it's 4-4. And they were coming. And so America, remember, during this time, America, okay, I didn't say that. Let me go back. That's what I forgot yesterday. I'm about to forget today. Let me close out, brothers and sisters. See, when this happens, I forgot to say that. When this happens right here, when this happens right here, they're going to attack both of us. But when they attack both of us, see, America, it's going to be a war with China. That's Armageddon. Politics don't kick off Armageddon. This is Armageddon. See, because the European war, because America is going to be at war with Russia and Europe. Europe is going to betray them. Why? Because that war, Iran has total control of the Middle East now. That means Europe is totally controlled of all oil. They have total economic collapse. Total. America has economic collapse too, but Europe is even more terrible. See? America has economic collapse for other reasons. They do have oil, but they have economic collapse. But they're going to be total here in Europe because they have no oil at all. Only source of oil they would have to be Russia, and the economy is total collapse. People going so they blame America for this whole mess. And so they make nicey nice with Russia, so now Russia fuels them. So now they start, remember all these bases in Europe, and they attack all American bases. America got to go try to protect their bases. There's Armageddon. They're tearing themselves apart now. That's why it says the dragon has 7 heads, 7 horns, and the crowns upon his heads. Right? That means Europeans had control. But then the dragon, then it shifted, and the 12 crowns went from the heads to the horns. That means China and India became the world powers because the Europeans tear themselves apart. Now they're the world powers. And everybody remember what America did. And everybody started taking revenge. So they tearing themselves apart now, and then China and India, because India's going to join with China, Japan's going to join with China also, they're coming across the Pacific Ocean. Remember, because this war is between the goat and the ram, and they got to cross the ocean to get to it. They don't have to touch land, so that means they have to be on the coast of, both countries have to be on the coast of the Pacific Ocean. China and India, both of them are. So if we would have to touch land, if they was inward, they have to touch land to get to the coast, to the water. No, they was around, so both of them, the math tells you that, just look at the map. And so the other country they come in at, they have to be coast on the Pacific Ocean too, on their west side. That's America. That's on the other way. You can say you have to say that must be Europe. That goes clear, but that means you have to say the goat is America then, and you have to say the ram is Europe. See, it's got to be one or the other. And so they cross, and so they be angry at the ram. Ram had two horns. That's Gog and Magog again. It's clear enough, and tear it up, destroy it. But at that time, right, okay, so I'm saying that's Armageddon, where they tear themselves apart. So let me don't jump the gun here. So now they're fighting here. They're attacking blacks. They're also fighting with each other, right? See? Buzzer's gone. Yeah, they still Armageddon's still going on. Okay. And then the winds blow. Lamb moves back up, and he brings all of them with him. Right? And then they have to be separated out. Right? They can separated out down here. And that'd be a 5-month war. That's said about Samson. He got mad, he woke up, and then he brought the whole thing down. So they at war with each other. War Armageddon over there, war Armageddon over here. The demons fighting trying to take control of the country. 5 months, and in 5 months, when they finally get control, that's when the goat comes rolling in. So they will have control when the goat comes rolling in, right? But the goat gonna get them too. So that's what happens. So that's when they get destroyed. But that point, right? That's the point when the NOI, going to tribulation, also arrived at the West Coast. That's what said the Exodus. It was traveling through, right? They was traveling through the wilderness, and then they got to the shore. They said, "Oh man, we put a rock high place," because they had all the Egyptians and everything was attacking them, right? And they said, "Man, what are we going to do? They're attacking them, and we got a river. We got a river in front of us. You know, we stuck. We're gonna get drowned." And that's when Moses opened it up. The Red Sea, Red China. They made an agreement with Master Muhammad. Master Muhammad would not let anybody use nuclear weapons or anything like that there. They opened up, let the NOI through. Master Muhammad picks them up, take them home, and then they close in and wipe out America. But at that time, remember, who controls America at the time? The demons, right? And they take out them first and everybody else. That's what happens here. Then, bam, there it is. Now they're going. All America's going, and they still, where it's left, Armageddon over to Europe. Hope you understand, brothers. I think we'll leave it there. This was you're going to see happen the next 12 months. Next 12 months. Farrakhan. And where's Farrakhan, the prophet, the watchman? The watchman that's supposed to be quiet. What good is a goddamn watchman and he don't speak? See so much bullshit over there because he don't know. That's why he's speaking. Aside from the fact that he's putting the shit in a bag and somebody got to wipe his ass now. I told you what, 12 months ago. I got the presentation out there. I told you 12 months ago. He was out of it, and everybody laughed. But you heard from him since, have you? It's out there. Go check it. I call it, no, you don't know shit. No, not that one. There's another one. I got one out there saying Farrakhan, I forgot the title. It's out there. Look at the date on it. Okay. So we're not trying to convince you, brothers and sisters. Trying to get you home. If you want to be home, if you love wellness, world life, go for it. When once you go home, if you had ability and desire to go home, first you got to have the ability. Because if you're two-dimensional, you don't even have the ability. But if you got the ability, now you got to have desire. I say, well, I'm let this world of life go. I'm going home. See? Unite on that vision. Hush. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. I'm going to leave it there. Assalamu alaikum.